Welcome to the show, everyone. We are live on Facebook, so I do want to say hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. I want everybody to listen up right now. This is very important information that we're going to be talking about right now. I have with me Solar Sandy. Solar Sandy, we've been doing this show for years. You have your own show. We've been talking about how you can help people pay less for a bill that they're already paying way too much money for. I don't care if you're in SRP or APS. She can help anyone. And we want to talk a bit about what makes you different, because you, and I got to say it, we've been serious right now, but we're going to say this, are the secret sauce that nobody else has out there. Yeah. Welcome back to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about what's going on in your world.
So Carol, I've been doing this now professionally for almost 10 years, and I've been on your show for about, it's got to be 8 years now, because you were the first person who invited me on the radio, and it basically took my messaging, to more people so that they could hear how to save money on a bill that they're already spending too much money on. I used to be a nurse, and then I had a very bad accident, and it was 30 years ago, and my daughter, 11 years ago, had a very high electric bill, and I showed you that bill. It was $565.27.
A long time ago. Now that's probably double.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, because she has solar, so she doesn't pay an electric bill
Well,
anymore.
that's what makes, listen up here, why that happened.
Yeah, so what I did, I didn't know anything about solar back then, so I figured out this mathematical formula, because when these solar sales guys came out to see my daughter and my son-in-law, their math just didn't add up. So I had to figure out, is solar going to be something that's going to be helping them or hurting them? You hear all kinds of stories. Excuse me, you hear all kinds of stories about people who went solar and had a very attractive solar panel payment to begin with. But once their solar got installed, they still had a really ugly power bill, Carol. And I had read those reviews before I was helping the kids and doing the research with the kids about that as well. And I was like, I couldn't help them pay their power bill, let alone a solar panel payment and a power bill. So I figured out the formula, and I cracked the kilowatt code, and that's what we called it. It's the Solar Sandy proprietary formula where I cracked the kilowatt code, because it's a combination of understanding that the panels are only going to produce power during the day, but when the sun goes down, you're still going to have to use electricity from the power company. And if you don't understand how those two things connect, you can be in a very, very bad situation with solar in Hawaii, but also here in Arizona. So my daughter lived in Hawaii, and she's had solar now for 10 years and 9 months, and she's never had a power bill since. And Carol's got some bills, and she'll read them in a little bit here. But I figured out a formula to completely eliminate my solar family's power bills so that they pay less for their solar than they do for their electricity. And
that's what's awesome.
And that electricity, everybody listen up, this is really important. Today is December 1st. Yesterday was November 31st. November 2023, SRP had its second rate increase within a 12-month period. APS's rate increase goes into effect today, but it's not going to punch you in the nose until next summer, because today is cooler, and December and January and February and March typically are cooler months. So you're not going to see the effect of this rate increase at APS, and it's the highest rate increase on record. It's between 25 and 30%. And APS has typically said a 5% rate increase. For the first time in history, they're actually admitting it's going to be between 25 and 30%. And that is why SRP divided 2 rate increases within a 12-month period, because they didn't want to punch you in the nose all at once. APS is punching you in the nose all at once, but now this is the second rate increase from SRP within a 12-month period that will punch you in the nose next summer.
What you're going to love is that Solar Sandy loves to come to everyone and talk to you and learn. You got to find out. You got to go into the house and find out. Well, the best thing to do is to go up on her website, which is asksolarsandy.com, and all you have to do is fill out the kilowatt worksheet. And when you do that, she can figure out and help you figure out where what are your, what you've been paying, and then you'll come to the house, and what you have though is also something else. Not only does she have a proprietary formula that she created, she also has something else that's in her toolbox that nobody else has,
Yes.
that when you put these things together, and that's what makes her different, folks.
0 bills.
Right there, 0 bills, and I have them. We're on Facebook right now live. I am looking at 2 right now, and I've got a lot of them. Let me tell you, I've got a file folder that's huge with her, and the bills are, this one here is a person that lived in Glendale. It's 0 amount due because there is a $466.23 credit
Yes.
towards, and that's, explain how that works.
So basically,
Explain it, Lucy.
Once your solar goes on, and their solar went on, it was installed and turned on in May, and they built a credit in May of $552. It paid the fees, taxes, and any power they were using at night, and that $466 carried forward. And that was in July. And then July, their bill was $135, and it came out of the $466. So their August, they had a credit of $300 and some odd dollars, and they had a 0 bill in August. So the hottest months of the year, folks, if solar is done correctly, this is the very best time of the year to go solar. If you go solar now, your solar will be up and running, and you're not going to get punched in the nose by these rate increases that both SRP and APS have just implemented in November, and starting today, APS just went up another 25 to 30%.
Go to asksolarsandy.com and fill out the kilowatt worksheet. Everybody should do it. There's, you know, and I see them popping up all over the place because you help people all the time. You've had hundreds and hundreds. And one of the things that I listened to in the last time when you were on, I listened to somebody that you were talking with that was explaining how fast it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about that because, you know, I think some people, well, it's going to take time. No, this guy went out there, you're thinking September, I don't remember exactly the months,
Right.
but literally in October, he was already went from, let's say, a $500 bill.
No, he had a $1,000 bill, and his solar had been turned on in September for 2 weeks, and his bill went down to $100. If it had been on for the whole month of September, he would have also had a 0 bill.
It was awesome to hear that. And you know, there's so many different people that absolutely love that they've worked with you. Please listen up, everyone. We know that there's people out there that'll come on knocking on your door, and there's a lot of different companies out there. But Solar Sandy is different. And not only are you proprietary formula, but what you have that creates that.
Carol, I don't ever pressure anybody. I used to be a registered nurse, so I don't have a salesman or saleswoman bone in my body. So what I like to say that makes me very, very different is I'm going to come to you and I'm going to educate you. And if I can show you that I can cut your power costs in half and then some over, you know, the next 25 years, if you can, I can have you paying less than half for your electricity and a lower amount that you would have been paying to the power company and never have a rate increase again. One of the things that people don't understand is when they go solar, you're exempt from any and all future rate increases. That's super important, Carol. So the next rate increase and the next one and the next one, you don't have to worry about it because you're grandfathered and locked in, and you don't have to worry about any future rate increases ever again.
All you have to do is go to our website. It's asksolarsandy.com. Fill out that kilowatt worksheet. That's all you have to do. And you know what? She will come to you. She's going to find out exactly. We used to talk about this too. The little bit smidge more that other people don't realize that, you know, when you go to these other companies, they don't care. They come in there, they're just going to plaque that down, and then they move on. Not with Solar Sandy. You become a Solar Sandy family.
Yep.
That's her family is what she calls them, and she loves to help people pay less for a bill that you're already paying way too much, or have a 0 balance, which is what she wants to get. So go to asksolarsandy.com and fill out that kilowatt worksheet right now. We're going to keep on talking because we're live in the room, okay? We're going to talk about some of these other things. When you work with people, especially right now, you know, everybody's sitting here, like you said, oh my God, I don't really need to do it right now because I'm going to have a low bill. But it's obvious that they need to do it.
So first of all, there's no money out of pocket, because I know we're in the holiday season and everything this year has been more expensive. Our gas, our food, everything. including our power bills. And people think it was because it was a hot summer. That's a very normal thing to think, Carol. But it was because rates had increased and people saw some of their highest bills that they've ever seen. Those bills next year are going to be even higher than they are. So no money out of pocket to get started. I come out to the house. I'll be here in town until I go out of town for the holidays, till about the 20th of December, so it's not too late to meet with me. It's going to take about 30 to 45 days to get everything set, to get it installed on your roof. But that is the perfect time for your solar to get turned on, to start building the credits like we've just talked about. So you've got your February, March, April, May, and June credits. So going into July, August, and September, you're not gonna get punched in the nose with a much higher electric bill. So this is, I tell people, you know, do people go solar with me in June and July and August and September?
That's when they're definitely like, oh my God.
Like they're frantic to go solar with me, but then it's not gonna get installed for those summer months. It's gonna take, you know, till the next summer for them to see that, you know, they're gonna have it installed well before the following summer. But this is the time to do it. And I have a brand new program that is even larger savings. So if you've met with somebody before and you didn't have the tax credit to apply back to the loan, this program is not dependent on your tax credit or what you've paid in taxes. So it's a brand new program that started in November. Please go to my website, fill out a kilowatt worksheet. I come out and meet with you. If solar doesn't work for you, Carol, I tell them, no, this is not a good fit. I educate people, and only if there's going to be savings and a benefit to my families, my prospective families I'm meeting with, are we going to move forward.
Okay. I want to retalk that on live air. Okay. This is your dad. This is really good app.
It is a really good app. We'll have to do some more of these.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to do some more of these.
SolarSandy.com. That's askSolarSandy.com and fill out your kilowatt worksheet today.
Welcome back. We are talking with Solar Sandy right now, and we've been talking at the break. First of all, one of the things that we want you to understand, folks, is this is the highest rate that you're going to be getting right now. So SRP and APS, they're going to be doing a high increase on your bills. And you said at the break, we were talking to Facebook Land, no money out of pocket to get started.
Yeah, everybody thinks, oh my gosh, solar must be expensive. No, it's not. So basically what we're going to do is stop you from, I'm going to help you stop flushing your hard-earned money down the, I call it the utility toilet bowl, where there's no benefit or value, except for the one guarantee, it's going to go up. And in November and December 1st today, APS has implemented the highest rate increase ever of record. So it's going to punch you in the nose next summer. You're not going to see it much December, January, February, March, April, because it's cooler months. But as soon as it starts getting warm and hot, especially come next summer, you're going to go, oh my God, my bill's $100 more than it was last year. What on earth am I going to do? So you have two choices. You can turn your thermostat to 95. I used to say 85, but now I say 95. And live miserably and uncomfortably in your own house because the power companies are so greedy. Or you can go solar, where I'm going to stop you from having to ever deal with a rate increase again. Zero money out of pocket, as long as you've got good credit. There's no worries. We can get you financed, and you'll be paying less for your solar than you will over the same period of time to the power company, with the being able to be more comfortable. You talked about, Carol, I add a smidge more. So when I go to my family's homes, let's say if they were keeping their house at 78 or 80 degrees, well, I don't want you to have to keep your house at 78 or 80 degrees anymore. So I give you a little bit extra power so that you can live a little bit more comfortably. What if it's as hot next summer or hotter than it was this summer? What if it's a colder winter next winter than it was last winter? So I always think of these things for people that are going solar. I want you to have the ability and the flexibility to be a little bit more comfortable. It's your home, for heaven's sakes. The power company should not dictate how comfortably or uncomfortably, affordably or unaffordably you live in your own home.
No money out of pocket, and if you do it now, call now or go onto the website and fill out the kilowatt worksheet, which is AskSolarSandy.com. You're going to have this SRP bill is zero. There's two of them right here, and on top of that, the credits. It's about building those credits now so that by the summertime, you're down to that zero bill.
And I do the same thing with APS. So it's a different rate plans, different formula, but I've been doing APS, knocking it out of the park in APS for a long time. And I'm so proud of my SRP bills, and my solar families in SRP are so ecstatic, because the other solar companies, you'll have a solar panel payment and you'll still have a bill. That's not the way to go solar.
And that's not what you're going to have with Solar Sandy. Go up under our website, AskSolarSandy.com. Fill out that kilowatt worksheet right now. Get in on it now. This is the time to do it. New program starting in November. Again,
Yes, a brand new program. And if you've looked at solar in the past and you were going to finance it, maybe you didn't pay a lot in. So there's a tax credit. It's a 30% federal tax credit and a $1,000 state tax credit. And maybe you didn't pay. Maybe you're a retired teacher and you don't pay a lot of taxes, and you didn't get the tax credit to apply back to the solar financing, and that was the whole reason that you decided solar didn't work for you. Well, I have a brand new program that you do not have to worry about the tax credit or applying the tax credit back to the solar loan. Right out of the gate, you'll be paying less than what your average bill, your 12-month average bill is to the power company. So how would you like to start the new year off knowing that I lowered a bill for you, that there's no ifs, ands, or buts, you're going to have it, you're going to pay it, and when that rate increase from APS and SRP punches you in the nose or hits you in the checkbook, in your bank account, I have the ability to stop that from happening, and I'm very sincere about this. If solar doesn't work for you, if you have if you have trees or you have an odd roof or something that just doesn't work for you, I'm not going to be one of those people that say, oh, solar's going to work for you. No, I'm going to educate you if I can help you, if I can't, and after I leave, you're going to be more educated on the power company and how politics and the power companies work hand in hand, and so you'll be a lot more knowledgeable about a bill that you're spending a lot of money on over a lifetime.
Go to AskSolarSandy.com, fill out that kilowatt worksheet. Let me just say this. You know, people, we used to have you all the time, and people have heard you, right? Yeah. If you have been on the fence and you've never called, but you've heard of Solar Sandy, please go up onto the website, and which is AskSolarSandy.com, and fill out that kilowatt worksheet.
There's no cost, there's no obligation. When I come out to meet with you, I'm coming out to educate you. So there's no cost, there's no obligation, and if solar works for you, there's absolutely no money out of your pocket to get started saving on a bill that you're already spending money on, and lower what you're paying already to APS and SRP.
What I think you do that's also different too than anybody else is you come in there with the proof. You have the proof you've been doing this, and zero bills, $0.
Yes.
$0. How would you like to pay your SRP bill? And you look at it, and right now you're seeing these credits of, oh my God, this is a $500 credit. Wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, by let's say July or whatever, August, when they're usually very high, there's zero. And the reason why is because she has a proprietary formula. She created it. You were a nurse. That's how you learned how to do all this math.
I'm really good with math. We have to double
You wouldn't think it, but she is unbelievable.
I'm really good with math. I was with a nurse yesterday, and we were talking how we would double check the dosages before we administer it. Even though the doctor writes the order, we double check the dosages. And by the way, I didn't kill anybody, so that's why I tell people I'm really good with math, I promise. And so when I was doing this research for my kids that were my daughter was 23 and my son-in-law was 27, and that they had this high bill that was almost half of their mortgage. And I said, how many more rate increases will there be in their lifetime? And I was on Social Security disability. I was not financial, due to my accident, I was not in a position to pay my kid's bill. And so we were researching, we were looking into solar, because we were looking for some solution to save them money on their electric bill. They had one little baby at the time, they had another one on the way.
Now they can have 4 or 5 easily because they can afford that.
Well, she's having a fourth one in April, by the way, so they have 3 now, they have another one on the way.
But I want to ask you something. I know this is...
But they've had 0 bills ever since.
It's just awesome. And what I want you to understand about Solar Sandy is that, first of all, the passion that you have for what you do.
I believe in this more today, Carol, than I did 11 years ago. And the reason is I know how corrupt the power companies and the politics that play into the power companies are. Inflation plays into it, so it's basically, I want to help my prospective families put more of their hard-earned money in their pockets, not the power companies' pockets, so they can live more affordably, more comfortably in their own home. For heaven's sakes, it's your home.
You should.
You should be able to.
Go to asksolarsandy.com, fill out the kilowatt worksheet. Tell them about the roofs right now too.
Yes, if you have a need to get your roof done, I can help you with that. You can finance it with your solar, and you're going to get 30% back on your roof, 30% federal tax credit back on your roof. If you've done your roof in the last 24 months and you go solar, you can still get that additional 30% back. So if you paid $10,000 for your roof, if you go solar, you're going to get $3,600 back from the federal tax credit for your roof if you put solar on, and that's the only time that you can get that tax credit. New program, no money out of pocket, not dependent on the tax credit. If you need a roof or you've done a roof, you can call me or go to my website and ask for more information. There's so much more that I can educate my solar families about, and when I go out to meet with them, it's about educating them on how to put more of their hard-earned money in their own pocket versus the power companies.
Some things just make sense.
They
And
do,
having right now, I'm looking at this one from from SRP, that is a amount due 0. I love it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, folks. This is a no obligation consultation, free to you to sit down and find out, does this make sense to do?
Yeah.
And you know what? What makes her different is that she has her say it again. Proprietary. I'm sorry. I'm so nervous because we gotta go. So formula, but also that she has the education, she has the passion, and she has the secret sauce. She has other things in her toolbox that also, when you put these things together, it makes you have the credits that you're going to get now. That's why going solar now is a great time to do it, because by the time the summer comes, you're going to have those credits that have added up.
And you won't have a power bill.
So this is awesome. Again, go to her website. It's asksolarsandy.com. Fill out that kilowatt worksheet, because you know what? You're not going to be sorry you did.
Go fill it out.
So it is asksolarsandy.com.